Paranormal Punches is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey y'all, this is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends! Yeah, I know you are. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. It's going to be a hell of a ride, let me tell you.
Yeah.
On this episode, we're going to talk about the real Conjuring House. Not the one from the movie.
Well,
We might talk about the movie. I know some people don't like that. But we're going to talk about the real Conjuring House in Rhode Island.
Yep.
And the second half, stick around. We have a podcast announcement. You don't want to miss it.
Did you notice what I did with my hat here?
You put it on backwards like Stallone in Over the Top?
Hudson Hawk, baby.
Is that how you get ready to podcast?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Right. Okay. FYI, for anybody listening, Nash just came back, got here from a homebrew
competition.
Yeah. So he's sampled and voted.
Many
Hopefully
beers.
you picked an excellent beer that won.
I hope so. I found a beer that I'm not into barrel-aged beers at all, of any kind whatsoever, and I came across one that is actually very yummy. The downside is that it's a beer at 11-point-something%.
Oh, boy.
11.5%.
At 11, the rest doesn't matter.
The point doesn't matter. And, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
So, buckle up. Mm-hmm. So the Conjuring House, the real Conjuring House.
Wait, we didn't say who we were.
Oh,
Who are we?
I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
I'm Dave.
Well, one thing
Nice,
Dave
Dave.
to remember.
nice. Bringing it.
FYI, both of them were at
We
the
were
homebrew
both there.
competition. Alicia and I were not. We were here waiting for them to show up.
I know.
But we had our own homebrew competition.
Oh, we showed up.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah.
The Conjuring House. This is up in, Harrisville, Rhode Island.
R.I.
This thing dates back to 1736.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, if you're familiar with the movie, it's a wicked haunted place. A lot of bad vibes. But we're going to dig into the real house and see what we find out there.
Yes. All right. So, what is now known as the Conjuring House was originally called the Old Arnold Estate. And I found it was in Burrillville, Rhode Island, but I feel like Burrillville and where did you say it was?
Well, I have Harrisville, but you know what? I don't know Rhode Island.
But, I feel like they're like townships, like right next to each other.
Gotcha.
But anyway.
I also, would you say Burrillville?
Burrillville.
I saw that too.
Okay.
But my notes have Harrisville.
Okay.
And this is not a slight against Rhode Island, but it's literally like the size of Lancaster County. So
There's
a lot of
You
small
can put
place.
1 foot in Harrisonville and 1 foot in Burrillsville?
And again,
Gotcha.
this is no. I don't mean any
Right.
disrespect to Rhode Island. It's an awesome, awesome state, but it's tiny.
Yeah, okay.
That's
so,
what she said.
So the Conjuring House, they have...
Okay.
Okay.
I hope not, but okay, moving on.
Okay.
Go for
So the Conjuring House, it has its own website because they have people that
Right.
go there to tour and do like
Investigations.
different investigations, things like that. So I think their website said that their address was Burrillville, which is why I put it in there. But anyway, it's an authentic colonial home built in 1736. It is called the Conjuring House now because of the 2013 film, The Conjuring, which depicted the hauntings that the Perron family experienced while living there in the 1970s and was investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren. In June 1970, Carolyn Perron discovered the house or farm by accident. But on further speculation, the family felt that they had been called to it. They purchased it in December of 1970 and the Perrons and their 5 daughters moved in.
And it doesn't look like the movie, FYI.
No.
It's an old colonial looking, like not even
Yeah.
colonial looking, like almost cabin-esque
Yeah.
farmhouse with a pretty decent sized property, but it is not the home you saw in the movie. It's very, what do you call that? Like
Old.
just old,
Plain. Americana.
Yeah.
subtle, Americana. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
According to Waze, it is Burrillville.
Burrillville. Okay.
Now,
All right.
My bad. I'm sorry, I said Harrisville.
290 miles from here.
I'm wondering if they changed
That's it?
the exterior of the house, because if you notice in some of the photos from 1973, there was like it was like either whitewashed or painted or has some kind of a
Right.
siding on there. But now it's all wood on
It's
the
all
exterior.
wood, yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
raw wood. So I'm wondering what happened
You
with
think
that
someone peeled it
siding?
off to give it a more rustic
Yeah,
Maybe.
look and
yeah.
feel?
Yeah. To give it that look that makes you go, there's something
That's-
here.
There's some
Yeah.
crazy, because who puts who puts raw wood on the outside of their house? I mean, they're crazy people.
I mean, I've
Crazy.
seen that before.
Yeah.
But okay.
I don't need your opinion. They're crazy.
upkeep.
Think of the upkeep on that. It's nuts. Anyway,
So the paranormal activity.
Was that your notes?
it actually was.
Siding versus wood
If I
siding.
had a pen, I'd actually
well.
cross that off.
Lisha.
Oh, she gave you the death eyes for continuing that thought process.
No, it's okay. The paranormal activity started almost immediately, which shouldn't have been a surprise, seeing as how the owner who sold it to them told them, and this is a quote, "Leave the lights on at night." It started small. Carolyn would notice that the broom was either missing or it would be in a different location.
Wait. Can we go back for a second?
Sure.
To the broom?
No.
Oh.
I've had my own.
Because I know you
you had
lost
situations
points to a
with
broom
brooms.
Yeah,
in a D&D session.
But if the realtor says leave the lights on,
Oh, no, it was the owner who
the
owned
owner.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either case, like, that's not a good sign.
That's a red
No,
flag.
no.
Right from the get go.
I mean, even if you're not into the supernatural, haunted, any of that, like, just okay, could it be crime? Okay, well, that's one thing. But
It's too vague of a thing to say.
it's expensive. Like, think of the energy costs.
Right?
Like, you're,
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? In Rhode Island, I don't know what the electricity bill is, but it's got to be monumental based on the whole idea.
I love how you're like, oh, yeah, in Rhode Island?
Wow! Who knows?
Can't afford to live there with those ghosts.
And back to Alicia.
So yeah, the broom would move. Like she would find it in different spots.
broom.
Right?
Yep. And she would hear something scraping against the kitchen kettle when no one was there. Or she would find piles of dirt on the kitchen floor when she had just cleaned it.
That's got to be frustrating
Yeah.
because you vacuum, you clean up, you brush, you clean the floor.
Just need a Rumba. Is that what they're called, Dave? You have one.
Roomba.
Roomba.
Yeah.
Not a Rumba.
But this is before then, so they actually have like a dustpan and
It was a little mechanical device that brought me rum.
Oh, dude, patent copyright, yeah.
Patent copyright.
We are creating that.
But I do want to ask, how did she determine that the piles of dirt on a clean floor were unexplained versus you just normally blame kids for that?
True,
That's
and she had 5.
kids.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
guaranteed somebody's
One of
tracking
those dang
something.
kids did it, right?
Right.
I gotcha.
Like, all the other stuff doesn't make sense, but the dirt on the
Right.
floor, kids.
I would agree with you on that one, but this is what she said. So, okay, I'm going with it. The girls soon began to see spirits around the house, and they claimed that for the most part, they were harmless. Of course, there's some that they seemed angry.
Yep.
in the beginning.
Yeah, it didn't take long, I think, before the girls started seeing this. Carolyn apparently researched the property and discovered that it had been the home to 8 generations, and supposedly many of them had died under mysterious circumstances.
You didn't put the quotes in there, but sure.
Yeah, I know.
Mysterious.
I know.
Yeah.
Several of the children had drowned in a nearby creek. One was murdered, and a few had hanged themselves in the attic. Apparently, this is what Carolyn
It's a
found.
nonchalant fact. They're dead in the attic.
Over 8 generations. This
Yes.
isn't like an entire generation just committed suicide, and the
Right.
next
No.
generation
Yeah.
all got drowned. And
Right,
all that.
right.
It was across. Not saying that this isn't weird, but it the way it comes across.
I know. So the family, they experienced rampant poltergeist activity. They would smell rotting flesh, and they would even experience their beds rising off the floor. They would regularly have physical injuries, and it was common to hear voices around the house. Roger, who was the father, he claims that he would enter the basement and feel I'm sorry.
What are you doing? Oh, there's a bug chasing you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I just want to inform the listeners.
Yeah,
That's why.
my bad.
She's getting
It's a
attacked.
spirit.
You're not
Attacked by a bug.
seeing the waving of the hands of the oh my god, get away.
Yeah. Sorry, I was afraid I was going to eat it. So anyway,
Okay.
he would, and this is a quote from him. He would feel a cold, stinking presence behind him,
That's what we all do from time to time.
and
No, we don't.
yeah, and even though they avoided the basement, the heating equipment would malfunction on a regular basis.
Okay.
So they would end up having to go down there.
So heating equipment back in those days was shoddy at best.
Right.
So I didn't take a whole lot of whatever I'm trying to say.
Credence.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word. Into shoddy heating equipment because this was back in the 1700s?
No,
1970s.
1970s.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I know, because in the 1700s, yes, heating equipment was pretty shoddy.
Yeah,
because you had to light a fire and keep feeding it logs.
So
Yeah.
1970.
I hope it didn't burn the house down.
Yeah. It was sure, whatever. Is that anyway you slice it? In the 70s, the heating equipment was crap to begin with. Yeah. So that you just had to go in the basement a couple of times,
So
I seriously don't know where that got us in the conversation.
I don't know.
I don't know if it helped.
over the 10 years that the family lived in this house, the Warrens actually made multiple trips to investigate
The basement?
the house.
The whole house.
Okay,
Yeah.
right on.
According to their daughter, Andrea, at one point, Lorraine conducted a seance to attempt to contact the spirits in the house. During the seance, Carolyn Perron became possessed, speaking in tongues and rising from the ground in her chair. And this is a quote from her. "I thought I was going to pass out. My mother began to speak a language not of this world and a voice not her own. Her chair levitated and she was thrown across the room." So in the film, there was one spirit that was supposed to be the worst of them, and that was Bathsheba. It was assumed that Bathsheba felt that she was the mistress of the house and definitely took offense to Carolyn. They felt that it was Bathsheba that was tormenting the family. Now, Bathsheba was actually a real person. She lived on a neighboring farm in the 1800s.
Yeah, she didn't actually even live in the house.
No. And she was suspected of being a witch. There was an infant that she was taking care of that mysteriously died. And it was determined that a large sewing needle had been impaled at the base of the skull of this baby.
Oh, that's terrible.
So the townspeople, they believed that she had sacrificed the infant as an offering to the devil.
Was that was her baby though, right? That was Bathsheba's
No, I think
baby.
No, I'm pretty sure she was like a
Another
nurse
person's baby?
or
Wet nurse or
yeah, something like that.
So, and the sewing needle in the back of the neck. So those sewing needles are like 4 inches, 3 inches long in the back of the neck. So that had to be like, that's some nasty ass shit.
Right.
Sorry.
But I did find other articles saying that though she went on trial for murder, but she was not found guilty.
Right. They couldn't
she was
connect
cleared,
the two.
cleared
Yeah,
legally. So.
Unless she said that she was a seamstress and used a lot of sewing needles to kill babies with.
Well, or if the
As we
needle
know.
don't
'Cause
fit,
that-
you can't acquit.
Because that would have connected the dots to be able to say
yeah.
that she was responsible. Yeah.
So the Perron family, they believed that it was Bathsheba only because they had mentioned a weird incident that had happened to Carolyn to Ed and Lorraine Warren. I guess she had been lying on the sofa and all of a sudden felt a piercing pain and spasms in her calf. She noticed a bit of blood on her calf, which looked like it could be from a large sewing needle. From that point on, Lorraine referred to the demonic presence in the house as Bathsheba. So that's kind of where it came around.
I mean, it's also, the name alone, I assume it sounds demonic.
It had to be her just based on the name.
I couldn't imagine having a child and be like, what do you want to name it, Mark? Bathsheba.
Bathsheba.
Yeah.
Lucifer.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with those names, right?
Well, Bathsheba, I don't know the difference in time periods. Like back when Bathsheba was a real person, maybe that was a common name. I don't know. I haven't heard it before, but it does.
Maybe that's how maybe you get Bethany from that over
Maybe.
time.
Yeah.
Isn't there a Bathsheba in the Bible?
Well, that's where I was actually thinking. That,
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't research that. I should have.
Dave doesn't have notes in front of him, so
Right.
Now, now, was Bathsheba the lady who appeared, who was in like a blackened outfit, who showed up with she showed up as a ghost, as her head was like twisted to the side, and she had jagged teeth, blackened clothes. Was that Bathsheba, or was that somebody else entirely?
I can't remember.
Because Bathsheba was kind of like the boss. When she showed up,
Are you talking about the movie?
no, I'm talking about the history of the house.
Oh.
So, one thing I wanted to point out.
well, they thought
this goes back to that.
Bathsheba, of all the spirits in the house, she was responsible for all the poltergeist activity.
Yeah.
It was her that was doing a lot of the scratching and causing like most of the trauma. Because there was some ghosts that weren't.
From what I found is that go ahead, Dave.
Well, yeah, so much going on. Like,
he's popping over here.
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
gotta,
I'm like,
give him a second.
Yeah.
Don't pop.
Well, yeah. So first, you said mistress, but she thought of herself as the matron of the house, and it's one of those like, was one of the ancestors of the house having an affair with her as a neighbor, and she thought herself.
That's.
Yeah,
you're making a theory.
I'm making a theory,
Well,
but it was like
mistress of the house, matron of the house. It's one's married, one's not. Right.
Yeah.
So
but the words that I saw was that she thought herself the matron of the house, not mistress of the house.
Okay.
And I think that's also why the mother, Mrs. Perron, felt like a lot of
was negativity towards
Right.
her, right?
Because
Yes.
well, she was the matriarch of the family.
Yep,
and so Bathsheba was like hammering on her,
right.
Now, what I came across was Bathsheba when she showed up. There were other.
Did we say Bathsheba enough that we were going to start invoking something? At this
We
point?
didn't say it 3 times in a row without any saying.
right.
Yep.
That-
Just say comma after every time you say the name.
Is that when she showed up, there were other spirits and whatnot that weren't quite evil in the house,
Right.
moving brooms and doing kind of just like having fun, whatever. When she showed up, all the other spirits kind of quieted. It was her presence as she was like the boss of everybody.
She's the big boss.
Yeah, she was the boss spirit. So maybe she thought of herself like what you're saying, as if the mistress of the house,
Matron.
whatever, the matron of the house.
How important?
Yeah,
It is.
Maybe
Like,
she
she would not fight the other mother,
right. But all the kids,
unless she thought she was the mother of the house, the
right?
matron
But
of the
all
house.
the other smaller spirits, like of the children or whatnot, who were hanging themselves, doing craziness in the house, whatever. They didn't necessarily respect her authority, but feared her authority. That she was the boss spirit in that house. So they would kind of quiet up for her to do her evil, and that's where a lot of because they weren't just moving brooms and moving stuff around. They actually experienced some physical harm, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just saw
Are
her.
you just mouthing and acting like if you let me continue?
No.
I will fill you in on
Yeah,
this.
You know?
no, I don't have a lot of the details.
Right, I don't have much of the details
Yeah.
either, other than she killed some kid with the sewing needle.
Well, I do have a quote from Andrea Perron. And maybe this explains like just how they felt about everything. Our family lived among the dead for a decade. The farm, known to us as the Old Arnold Estate, was where we all came to understand that we are not alone, and there is something beyond our mortal existence, though none of us can tell you precisely what it is or where we go after death. So I feel like they're definitely saying whether it was what was happening, who it was, they were feeling something.
Right.
Okay.
And there
Well,
was
you ready?
Well, I wasn't sure if that was a cue for me or
Right.
no.
Yeah, no, that
But-
would no. When I jump in with a quote, I'm trying to get it back on track for
I know,
you,
I know.
my love.
Well, what I'm saying,
I'm being good
It didn't
because I
work.
have something to say, but I have a feeling you're going to bring it up,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to
yeah,
go on it. So
go
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
no,
Go for it.
I would just say
Let them
also,
fight.
since
I know.
you guys are getting ready to duke it out here, I would say that there's not only the spirits of the kids and of the people who departed in that house, but there was also something about there was dead soldiers buried in the walls.
What?
Did you guys hear about that?
No.
They do have. We'll get to there, but they do have one of their overnight camping trips. It's talking about like their soldier.
There's soldiers
experience.
buried in the walls. So
Oh.
I'm thinking that Bathsheba was not only just kind of holding back the spirits that of people who've actually, the smaller kids who had died in the house or been killed with a sewing needle or hanged in the attic or whatever kind of stuff they were into, but there were also dead soldiers because this house dates back to the 1700s, and to find out that there was dead soldiers in the wall. Okay, well, this house is jacked up from the get go.
1736. It did. The guy. I'm pretty sure if I remember from my notes that the guy who bought it. It was called the Arnold Estate, but that was during the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I imagine
Wait.
a lot of shit went down.
the Arnold Estate in the Revolutionary War.
The Old Arnold Estate.
Arnold,
Arnold.
like Benedict Arnold.
No, like
I
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
don't know if it's connected to that
Yeah.
Arnold.
Very different Arnold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. But
back to the point.
But get to the horse-drawn carriage.
this was the only bit that I came across where it was like there's up to 7. It said there was 7 dead soldiers buried in the walls.
Wow.
Okay,
That is a whole like
But why would they be buried in the walls?
Yeah.
That sounds like you
I
murdered
don't
them.
know. I don't know.
That
Right.
sounds like right from Edgar Allan
Edgar
Poe.
Allan Poe. Yeah,
Yes, I don't know.
Like you don't just randomly like
Right.
yeah, if they're in the
soldiers
walls, they were
usually
murdered and
buried
put there.
in the battlefield.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Exactly. Not in the walls.
And I was trying to get it back to you, Lish. I
okay.
apologize,
It's okay.
but
She gave up.
burying in the wall.
Her notes are in the
couldn't-
trash can right now.
Couldn't
everybody.
let that go.
Right. Right. So I don't know if this was true and there were dead soldiers buried in the wall. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, not the logistics of it, which is where I like to live, is the logistics of the whole thing. If that were the case,
You would need wider
Are
than
you sure?
16-inch studs.
16-inch studs, right on center. 16-inch on center. You have to have the depth to be able to support dead people.
Right.
Whatever. That's not just a 2x4 kind of a situation. That's a 6x6 or maybe a 6x8. Whatever. That's a whole other thing. But if Bathsheba was able to contain all of that, including...
No, I feel like we could have a whole carpentry show.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, it's just looking at the look on both of your faces.
No,
of,
but I
like,
was like processing a video. Like,
Yeah.
all right, like
Yeah.
how do you
right? Like this
what
old
do your
house.
stud dimensions need to be to
tie
bury
a
a body in
support,
the walls?
support a body. Yeah, the 16 inches is fine, not necessarily for my frame, but for your fragile frame, Mark, you would be able to get 16
World
inches
Service
in.
Bro BMF. Did you
know.
ever win that trophy? No, you didn't.
Wow. Anyway, but you have to have a depth associated with it, to be able to
Right.
So there's a whole thing. But if Bathsheba was able to hold back all the ghosts from the kids, and those even ones that she killed with the sewing needle, the dead soldiers who died in the line of their own duty, what?
I said she killed one.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
No,
Bathory,
she's
she was-
he's adding to the lore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
She's
it.
bathing in the blood of
Right.
infants.
Nobody cite this podcast when
I
you're
know,
researching.
please.
Yeah, but she would be able to also put those spirits to the on the backside, so that she was the only one coming out. There would be more associated with spirits coming forward than just the kids. That there could be the seven soldiers buried in the walls. That would be a pain in the butt to deal with. Not for me, but for Bathsheba, that she could do it. Who knows? She was apparently a real bitch.
Whoa.
Woo-hoo.
You used a lot of
words.
swear words today.
Yeah, I know.
Did you?
It's all the beer.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on fire. Fire.
Okay. So the Perron family, they continued to live in the house for 10 years
For some
and
reason.
experience continual paranormal encounters. They lived there for that long because financially they weren't able to move.
Yes. That's what I wanted to hit on.
Okay.
Like, how sucky would it be? Like, you're stuck in a house where spirits are just attacking you constantly.
And you
you're
can't
like,
go.
we need to go, but we can't afford to.
Right,
Like,
we can't afford it. So.
like, what would you do? Like, I would set up a tent outside or something. Like,
Okay, somebody's got to have a station wagon. This is the 70s. Everybody had station wagons in the 70s. You have a station, but there's a lot of kids. Didn't they have a whole mess of kids?
5 kids.
Five.
daughters.
That's rough.
That's right. You have to deal with it.
Right.
Suck it up.
Right.
Like even in today's world, the rent's through the roof, housing prices through the roof.
Rent
If
is
you got
too
a
damn
haunted
high.
house, you got a haunted house, you got to deal with it, or at the very least, maybe
No.
Airbnb it.
No.
So then you can rent it out on the weekends, so like people come and do
No.
investigations.
You can just leave the house and set the whole thing ablaze and call the insurance company and figure it out.
Well, no,
That
we
is
do
not
advocate,
accurate legal advice.
Insurance fraud.
Disclaimer, do not listen
Do
to
not
Nash.
do that. I'm
or-
just saying, you do what you got to do. I'm just saying. Anyway.
So eventually they did decide to sell the house, and that was in 1980. And they were going to move to
1980, they
Yeah.
definitely didn't have to disclose.
10
that
years.
it was
Correct?
Yeah.
I like where your head's
Yeah.
at, Mark. I like where your head's at.
They definitely didn't have to tell anybody.
Right. No seller's disclosures about
Yep.
ghosts or anything like that.
Or anything in the walls.
In the
Funky
80s
smells.
was before Reaganomics kicked in, so the rates were still kind of low, so you could get out of that house, you could boogie on out.
No. Late 70s, the rates were super high.
Not until mid 80s were they bonkers.
No, under Carter, the whole 17-18% interest rates.
No, that was Reagan.
17%.
That was
Yeah.
mid 80s.
On a home loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty high. It was crazy. So being that they got out from underneath this house and somebody actually wanted to buy this house, that's nuts. That is a whole nother
Well, apparently
podcast
getting
into
out from
itself.
underneath the house wasn't the problem. It was getting out from the walls.
Ooh, nice. I like where your head's at, Dave. I like where your head's at. Anyway.
But keep in mind. Oh, do you got more notes, baby?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I didn't even finish that sentence.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
No, she's right off in the middle of it.
Oh, okay. I can talk now. Okay.
Yeah. I won't even edit this out. It's like
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, so they decided to sell the house in 1980 and move to Georgia. Now, Andrea Perron is quoted in her book as saying, "My mother informed me that the sale of the farm was pending. I was heartbroken by the news. Despite the trials, it was home, and I loved it. Though we abandoned our place in the country, it never left us."
That's a bunch of crap.
So, I mean,
Well, but they said most of the spirits weren't
right.
negative. I mean,
Right, except
Right.
for Bathsheba. The other spirits weren't really negative. They were
Right.
kind of there to, they create a little mischief, a little having their fun,
Yeah.
but nothing really bad until Bathsheba showed up.
Well, the quote I read, they lived there for a decade. Come on, after 10 years, you're going to get really sick of that. Even the good
True.
ghosts, even a little
It's going to be so
little
annoying.
pranks. After a while, it's gonna grate on you.
Oh yeah, 100%. But if they're not evil spirits,
If you live in a haunted house for 10 years and
occasionally-
let me know if it is actually grating on you.
right? But if you found the broom on the other side of the room or a little dirt in the kitchen after you cleaned up, you just are like, oh, you crazy.
But I know some
kids.
people talk about like their keys go missing. They put it here every night. And
Right,
they can't find it. Like that after 10 years of that.
But that's an adult thing. Like back in the 70s, there was nothing to do. The kids were always outside
There
playing.
was still color TV.
Talking about it was the 70s, bro.
Yeah.
There was
There
a lot
was
of
a
drugs.
lot to do.
But the I just think of
Purple
it.
haze
or-
in my brain.
I don't think the kids were old enough to do all that.
Okay. I was talking about the parents.
No, the parents, this would have been maddening, but the kids, I could see having a good time. Like, imagine now in 2010s, 2020s, where
Oh, my God.
it's like you're trying to play video games and you look over and the ghost is sitting there, like trying to,
moving the broom across the room,
Yeah.
putting dirt in there, and you're like, "Hey, dude,
No,
can
you should go left. You should go left. You should
Yeah.
go left. Would you just let me play the game?
I'm in the middle of something. Can you just clean up after
So what
yourself?"
you're saying is it's maddening for the ghosts to
No.
deal with young kids ignoring them because they're too busy TikToking and playing video games.
Right, yeah.
Right.
So it's the
But
ghosts now
back in the
who
70s,
we
it
should
was
feel bad.
they're
Those-
getting pissed.
Who would have
Yeah.
been, yeah.
Right. Oh, did that add to what you were telling us about the house, dear?
Sure. There are stories of paranormal activity that date back to the 18th century, and it is believed that the spirits of Native Americans began to haunt the homestead after the home was built.
What?
This is according to their website.
Well, it did used to be Native American land, and then this guy
Yes.
came in and bought up a bunch of stuff
Yes.
and built his house. So
Poltergeist style?
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
they're the
Well,
ones that are stealing stuff.
He didn't
I
make
don't
a
know.
swimming pool, so maybe not. But yeah.
So on the Conjuring House website, there's a list of apparently ghosts that they have named,
Okay.
and I have two of them. Abigail Arnold, she had 14 children
Oh my
in
God.
22 years.
Oh,
If you can
jeez.
believe that.
No.
I know.
No,
But-
I would definitely haunt
Yeah.
everybody forever if I had 14 kids.
Yeah.
It can be
Yeah.
done. It can
But-
be done.
You know how that would drive you mad.
Yeah.
I've got a
She
buddy who has a
died
bunch of
at the
kids.
age of 93.
Not after 14 kids.
No.
In 22 years.
No.
No.
Yeah. She will often warn guests to get out of the basement if there is.
Not what I was thinking. Yeah, I got you. She would often warn guests to wear protection.
Yeah.
That's what I figured you were
Do not come in the basement.
Whoa.
Anyway.
Stay upstairs. Don't go in the basement.
Right.
Yep. If there's a malevolent spirit around, she'll say, get out. Anyway. Matthew, he never lived at the house, but he does visit the house. He died in 1888 at 27. And this is a quote from them, from the website, I'm sorry. He's very fun and caring to others and has joked that it is weird that women wear pants and that music is strange now. He very much enjoys the piano. When shown how smartphones work, he called it witchcraft. He likes being at the house, in part so he can interact with guests.
That sounds awesome. Like,
I'm
I would
going
hang
to
out
agree.
with him.
I agree with Matthew 100%. 100%.
What, that it's strange that women wear pants?
Yeah. And the rest of it, too.
I
Smartphones
wasn't going there.
are magic, and if it, and
What's
it
wrong
really,
with pants?
they just shouldn't
Well,
be worn.
they didn't wear pants at that time, women.
Yeah.
Well, no, but Nash says I totally agree with Matthew.
Yeah, well, I think that most people of the fair gender who come in the house just shouldn't wear pants.
No, the shit entered the house without pants?
Yeah, I would prefer that. Sure.
Your foot
Changes the
is
whole dynamic
so
of,
far in
going
your
to any
mouth
party
right
with
now.
you.
Okay, so books have fallen off shelves by themselves, and shadow figures have also been seen in the upstairs
Yeah.
bedroom.
Always a shadow figure.
So, Andrea, she has a book, but she quotes in there, because they were like, has anybody else experienced stuff in this house that, moved in after you or before you or whatever? She claims that, yes, some have left screaming and running for their lives. The man who moved in to begin the restoration on the house, when we sold it, left screaming without his car, without his tools, without his clothing.
He's just running down the
Okay, wait.
Why would he leave his car?
Why would it? Okay,
That story is sus.
When,
That
right
sounds
there.
like
when did this
his
happen?
wife caught him.
No, I guess
Right?
the guy that bought it after them,
Yeah.
and he was trying to restore the house
Sure.
back to whatever.
This
yeah.
was in like the 80s or
Restore.
90s.
This would have been in the 80s.
Okay, what was he doing without his clothes?
I don't know.
And his tools. Not that the two are related. I'm just saying, sometimes a tool belt. Anyway.
So he never went back to the
I feel
house.
like something was going on.
Yeah.
So, it had nothing with a ghost. He got caught with his pants down.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Or
then
off.
ran out of the house.
Because he was following the nobody comes in the house with pants rule.
Because I tell you what, if I was in a haunted house, something scared me so bad, I would get in the car and drive away. I wouldn't run past my car and keep running.
Why can't we get in the running car?
Right?
Yeah. But why would you do that without your tools, which come on a belt or in a toolbox, or clothes?
The clothing part is really
Right,
interesting.
right.
Tools I could give you
Yeah,
a
yeah.
buy because you left quickly.
You're so freaked out,
Something
you
was so
leave.
freaked out, you come back. But
Right. Clothes?
When how do you work? How as a contractor?
Mostly nude.
No, I strip down when I do remodeling.
I prefer
Okay.
to do my framing in the nude. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Lish, just to, yeah. Was this the owner or was this the contractor?
It was the
renovating?
contractor.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right? So he
Yeah.
shows up. He's like, all right.
He's still going to send
There's
the bill.
no reason for the contractor to be nude.
He's still going to
He's
send the
like,
bill.
hey,
for
look,
that.
I like to work in my underwear. I'm going to give you 10%.
This is how I do it. This is
So
how I
this
do
is
it.
that.
This is why I'm 20% lower than everybody other contractor that you got is because I do it in the nude.
Anyway,
We don't know.
he never went back to the house. And the people who own the house, they never moved in. And so it sat vacant for years after.
So he never
Right?
got,
That'd be traumatic. Like,
he never got paid to
you
get his
hire a
clothes.
really bad contractor.
Yeah. He never got paid to pick up his stuff, his tools and his clothes and whatever else he was doing at the house at that time without his tools.
so
or clothes.
close to end of your notes.
I know. I
Do you-
really am.
Do you want to get there?
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
So another former owner, Norma Sutcliffe, and her husband Jerry, they've heard the door banging in the front hall, have heard sounds of people talking in another room, or the sounds of footsteps and then a door opening in another room, and her husband's chair would vibrate. So,
I bet it would. Yes, I bet it would. Okay.
anyway,
Okay.
Well, it could
Now,
have
I
been
di-
one of those heated massage chairs.
yeah.
Those vibrate a little
In
bit.
the 80s?
I'm telling you, a heated vibrating massage chair. Those vibrated. They used to have those workout machines where the belt was coming across your
Oh, yeah, I
midsection,
got
you
you.
know? You know, they were using that kind of stuff back in the 40s and 50s. So having a recliner that would vibrate, it's par for the course.
Right.
Yeah, but in the 70s, I'd be worried like it might just punch a hole right through my kidney. Like their technology back then wasn't as sophisticated as it is now.
So, 2 points. The first one is just Dave's Science Corner. Not even science.
Dave's Science
Wait,
Corner.
Science Corner!
Science Corner! Right,
Dave's
Dave's Science
religion
Corner.
corner. So I looked it up. Yes, Bathsheba was in the Bible.
Who?
And
Bathsheba?
yeah, and I know why this name sounds familiar. The story of King David killing his rival Uriah and taking his wife Bathsheba as his own. So she was without sin, but yet she was the one that was between husbands and everything, which is kind of an interesting metaphor for this, where she finds herself as saying, I'm the matron of this house in between husbands. She was in a different household, but
Did she kill her kid with a sewing needle?
no, they didn't have sewing needles back then.
Well, I'm sure they did, but how do they put cloth together?
I don't know, glue?
A lot of horses in that area.
A lot of missing horses.
Right?
Yeah.
Which you can't sell.
Second point
You
I want to
need
bring up. That was just a clarification. The second thing is, and I know we disagree on this. We disagreed on this way back, whatever episode it was that we talked about poltergeists first. I still believe that poltergeists are a manifestation of the angst of a teenage female.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not caused by an external spirit. Bathsheba, whether she is or is not haunting this place, the five daughters,
Kids.
are the ones that are suspect for causing the poltergeist-like
For sure.
activity.
Dude, that guy,
I
5 girls, and
Right.
they all had like psychic power.
Yeah,
but you know what? I agree.
but it's unintentional psychopath.
Right.
I agree
Right.
with you, Dave, 100%. And Bathsheba was the one that kind of, she was like boss level.
She was
And-
the one that was leading them on.
Right, but when those 5 spirits, the 5 poltergeists were doing their thing, and it wasn't a terrible thing, but they were doing stuff.
I mean, I guess it depends on your
moving
perspective.
moving brooms, putting
Well,
dirt.
if I'm trying to relax and watch my what shows were out in the 70s, I don't know, Happy Days. If I'm trying to watch my show and then Bathsheba or a poltergeist is moving
No,
shit
no.
across the room,
No.
that would be really disturbing to me.
I believe that the kids were moving stuff across the room, trying to be noticed and being
With their psychic power.
somewhat playful. And Bathsheba came as the boss and said no, and like tamped them down. And then they're not even
I
being
think you guys are
expressed.
making shit up at this point, right?
I think Bathsheba was like a boss entity level that was like literally tamping down all the other spirits.
But if you believe in that, then Dave, like you have a daughter, a teenager. What if the angst starts amping up and you got poltergeist situations around your house?
It entirely possible. Is entirely possible.
But-
the and the one difference is that poltergeists, again, to how I understand it, it's not an intentional thing. It's not like they know they have psychic
Correct,
power. They're
correct.
not intentionally like, I'm going to throw this thing across the room. It's
They're not caring.
the negative energy built up inside just manifests itself.
But maybe they
and
are caring.
happens.
Okay.
And it's not something that they can control. It's not something that they do.
Right.
Poltergeist activity is entirely, and it can happen to males too. It's not all female, but it typically has been described as a female thing. Female teenager, male teenager.
So
Interesting.
yeah, and so I see that as, I agree with that 100%. Is that that Bathsheba went in and she had
Bathsheba.
Bathsheba.
Better get the name right. She's going to come home with you.
Did I say that? Did I say it wrong? Did I say?
Don't say it 3 times.
Did I say whatever?
You said
I think you were like
Bathsheba.
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 So I take that as that she
fly.
was like a larger entity that had, wasn't she a Satanist or something like that? Didn't she?
No.
That was
I
what
did-
the rumor was.
There's a rumor.
Yeah, that she had abilities not necessarily above all the kids, but that she had an air of authority of that would be able to keep down the other poltergeists that weren't quite as strong as she was. That she, either because she obviously had a child that was killed with a sewing needle, she was into whatever she was into, that she had the ability to be able to keep the others at bay, who were they weren't really doing much in the way of harm. They were just being kind of mischievous. That she had enough strength to be able to say, I'm the boss, you keep this at bay, and this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way I took the whole situation.
All right. So my brain's hurting after that.
Oh, there's more. There's so much more. I can't wait.
Well, why don't we take a break and we'll come back with more and also the cool things they do for you to go hang out at this house. Oh, and our podcast announcement. We'll be right back. And we're back. Conjuring House, the real Conjuring House. So, I have some stuff I'd like to tell you guys about staying there overnight.
Mm-hmm.
But Nash had a bunch of stuff he just said during the break.
Yes.
And he's pretty excited, so
Yeah, I'm all
we're going to
worked
let
up.
him go first.
I'm worked up about it, more or less. So there was a situation where now Carolyn and Roger. Now I had to clarify this because I definitely take in these facts, but not quite at 100%.
Okay.
You know, so Carolyn had walked into their dining room at one point and walked into basically the family of the Arnold,
Okay.
who was there with their whole family sitting in the dining room.
The Arnold Estate was the original people.
There you go. See? Now we're cooking.
Okay.
They were having a family
you're
dinner.
cooking.
They're cooking. They're having a family dinner in their dining room. Okay. And at that point, the Arnolds basically looked up and saw Caroline came in shocked that she was there. That was her experience. That she walked in on and surprised the entire family in the middle of a meal.
Did they disappear?
No, they were there eating dinner. It didn't say what happened if she.
I'm confused because
Yeah, were they ghosts or?
people have walked on
Right,
in on me.
Okay,
eating
okay,
dinner before,
Clarify for
and I'm
me.
like,
Okay.
oh hey, how are you doing? So was it a ghost that walked
She
in?
walked in on them having dinner, and they were surprised to see her walk in on them having dinner.
Right, like if I walked in Dave's house
Okay.
while he was having dinner and he didn't know I was going to be there, he'd be surprised.
Okay.
Right.
So
but I'd be
so-
alive.
yeah,
But we're both
Correct.
alive.
Were they ghosts?
Wait,
Okay.
who was ghost?
Okay.
Why was ghost?
Or was this?
I'll do you one better. Why was ghost?
Is having dinner a metaphor?
No. It's not a metaphor. Okay. So
Well,
this
metaphor for, why are you using air quotes? Metaphor for what? Smoking weed?
Walking in,
they weren't having sex.
special
were they?
socks.
Ah.
Nope. Anyway, Dave.
What, Dave?
Dave,
yeah?
this is the
Wait,
kid-
whoa,
this is
whoa,
the
we're
fa-
learning too much
This
right
is
now.
a family show, Dave. So that one little bit of information was like,
You haven't answered the question yet.
what was the question?
Are they ghosts?
Yeah,
Are the
who's the
Arnold
ghost?
family ghosts?
The people eating dinner or the person that walked in on the dinner?
That leads me to my theory.
Just
You
please
didn't
tell
answer
me.
it.
Please tell me.
Because I can't answer the question because
no, you have to answer the question.
Okay.
You posed
the theory
the situation.
the theory answers the question. Maybe.
Wait, what?
Okay?
Oh, shit.
Okay. So
I don't even know.
I believe that the ghosts in this situation were Carolyn and Roger.
So wait, their ghosts went back in time to experience
Yes,
the actual
because this house is
Arnold family?
is put in as a portal to this goes to a larger. Here we go, baby.
Well, no, go.
This
I need
goes
you
to a
tell
larger
me.
theory is that the pudding skin between this reality and the next
Okay.
isn't necessarily just a two-way or one-way mirror. Okay, it's not a doorway that you walk through one to the other. That the pudding skin is there, but there's more. Have you all seen the movie Event Horizon?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Back in the day.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I forget the other guy's name, but yes. So between
Sam Neill.
yes, Sam Neill. Between
Good pull, Dave.
Haven't
2
watched it.
points.
Wait, how'd you know that?
I know
You've never
things.
seen the movie.
So
I drink and I know things.
Right.
between 2 points of a wormhole and is an Einstein Rosenberg threshold
Horizon.
Yeah, there's an in between space.
I thought it was a bridge.
Whatever. Yes, the answer is yes. Is that this house
You're right.
represents the bridge between the two. Okay? So that this house represents the bridge. The portal is there. The pudding skin is there for between their two realities, yes. But that this house represents the bridge between the two. So that I'm thinking this is my I didn't smoke any weed. I'm just telling you. This was totally sober me thinking.
Should you have?
Yeah.
Maybe I should have. Was that Carolyn and Roger, okay, they were actually the cause of this happening in the past. Because the Arnold family, who was there having dinner, saw this thing happen, which is a ghost. Something showed up in their dining room table that they all acknowledged.
Do we have any
They-
reports
they-
where the
they-
Arnold family, who originally owned it, saw ghosts? Are you
Hold
getting
on.
confused.
Hold
the
on.
Perron family saw ghosts.
Hold on, just stay with me here.
No, my bad. Go,
Okay.
go.
So the ghost showed up. Carolyn showed up as a ghost in the house in the 1700s or whenever this happened with the Arnold family. The Arnold family in that time frame of the 1700s thought there's only one way. They must have been from the devil, whatever. They're very religious in the 1700s. It's either the God or the devil. They became Satanists to try to continue to pull other ghosts in to quantify their whole seeing of the original ghost of Carolyn coming through.
Okay, so
So
I don't necessarily agree. but,
you're writing your own story.
but have you
You
ever,
want to make a movie?
This
in
is
the
my
Conjuring
theory. This is
universe.
my theory.
have you ever seen the documentary with Anthony Mackie and the guy from 50 Shades of Grey, where they're ambulance drivers and they go back in
It's called
time?
Ambulance. wait, no, that's a great movie.
Yeah, and
It's very underrated.
But they start the
what's the
process.
name
they
of,
start the process.
yes,
and they go
where he's going back in time.
Back in time.
And sometimes he might
And-
appear in the Louisiana swamp.
right. Yes, and as an
That-
accident, it causes that, and it
Yes.
could have impact in the future, like scribbling on a rock.
That's exactly
Right.
what
Actually,
I think.
that's a movie made by two of my favorite directors, Aaron Benson and forget the other guy. Shoot.
Okay.
They did the movie Resolution, but
Sure.
that movie, go look it up.
Yeah, it's a
What's it called?
movie
I don't
nerd.
remember. Shoot.
Okay, here we go. So anyway,
I have a
I'll look it
computer.
up
I
right
should
now.
look it up.
so that's what I'm thinking that
Highly recommend.
so that for some reason somehow that yes, there is a pudding skin at this location. Somehow, some way, Caroline, who was sensitive to it, came through, scared the family while they were at dinner. They reacted by trying to quantify it, whatever, make this thing happen. In that process of quantifying it, becoming Satanists, killing people with needles and hanging in the attic, whatever, they actually, like Aleister Crowley, they cemented this location as a possible, it's a hub, it's a place where souls cannot leave. They further then perpetuated the problem that Carolyn was responding to when she came in and walked in on them later. It's a whole time loop thing. Okay, let that just like what there was a
No, you're about to say let that sink in. Like, no, I
Well,
do not. I'm
there
not
was a-
letting that sink in.
there
I
was a-
don't even know what you're saying.
there was a similar episode of Star Trek that
Synchronic.
Synchronic. Yeah, maybe not like a great film, but pretty cool. And Anthony Mackie killed it, and those directors, Resolution, which I think is a really interesting movie. Shoot, I'm forgetting their other movies. Check it out. Spring, I think, was one of their movies. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's
just
an
saying-
interesting take on time travel.
Well, that's what I'm seeing that this possibly is that one perpetuated the other, but the second step to this happened in the past, which led to them keeping the ghost in the house, which led to the haunting, which led to Caroline finding out about this, living with this for a while, coming into the dining room and experiencing, because the pudding skin on this house is thin.
The pudding spin.
Yeah, is thin. So she came into the dining room and experienced the family that she walked in on having dinner. But for the family's having dinner's perspective, this was the first time that happened because she was apparently open to it. They saw this happen, and that was their reaction. So one led to the other, which led to the other, having to deal with timey-wimey bullshit.
Okay.
Excuse me. It's actually a never-ending cycle of what's happening in this house. That's my theory.
All right, there's a theory. I know that through that entire theory, Lish was holding her head like it was going to explode.
I kind of almost
Nash,
need
thank you for
another
that.
break.
Dave,
I almost need another break.
do we need to take another break?
No,
To let that process.
but
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up and get another beer.
well, that's where I'm at.
Do you want one?
Yeah.
Just keep it going.
Yeah,
All right.
Nash, you need to know.
no dead air.
I could use for 7 more.
Yeah, no dead air. We got to keep talking.
Right.
So, yeah, like I said, your theory is really kind of out there,
Right.
but
yes.
is kind of it could be possible.
It could be because
based on the documentary Synchronic.
because we've always considered that the pudding skin is a one-way vessel, maybe sometimes a two-way vessel for spirits to come to our
You want a
world.
White Claw, dear?
No, I'm good.
That actually is one of those interesting topics that I feel would be an interesting just diatribe.
Right.
Of you're talking about not having one way or two-way doors,
But
multiple way
but
doors.
the way back, it's not linked to time, and it's not linked to time space. That when you go back, you can't really choose where you end up, but you end up possibly in another time. It's just that the house kind of held it in there
I got
because of the energy, the negative energy. that was in the house.
I was like, speaking of one way,
Yeah.
I'm going to get us on a one-way track back to the
I'm telling you,
to
there's
the Conjuring House. Now, They have a pretty good website. They got a lot of photos, a lot of videos, so you can check out what the real house looks like. But I thought this was interesting and something we should consider, since Rhode Island's not that far. But now they have started
only Narnia.
camping on the property.
Yeah, they're calling it
Hold
gamping.
on, no, Dave. No, now let me explain. There's several different sites, and some of them you might love. I'm kidding.
Really?
Gamping?
It's called gamping.
Do I need to have
hold
the leather headgear with the mouthpiece and everything?
So they spin it on their website. Are you brave enough to embrace the darkness?
No.
So they have their new overnight investigation. It's ghost plus camping equals gamping.
I like glamping.
So
Was that what they did?
They consider
Pamper
it,
me.
they consider it the ultimate paranormal outdoor adventure. Now they have 8 sites with tents or whatever. But they have here's a couple of sites I highlighted because I think they would be good for us.
Oh.
So one spot is called the Extraterrestrial Portal.
Okay, I'm into that.
Yep.
So mediums,
My
mediums,
portal
card
says do not
readers-
enter. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, maybe we're not camping with Nash.
Just said do not enter. One way only. I'm just saying.
So mediums, card readers, and other spirits of the house have told. This is right from the website. Us of extraterrestrial visits. That their portal is located somewhere in the lower field. And there's been
It is in the
light
lower
orbs,
field.
a UFO video captured in 2021, and they're calling this a fright factor of 1 out of 10, 6. If you stay at this campsite, it's a fright factor of 6 out of 10.
Okay, then no.
And now you have a couple tents to pick from. The abduction chamber tent.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sign me up. You know, whatever.
It only sleeps 3, but it costs 300 bones a night.
Yeah,
Dang.
that's a funny way to say that.
They have a light dancer tent.
Wait, a light,
Why would...
a light dancer?
300 bones a night?
Well, lights dancing in the sky. Light
Okay.
dancer.
Light
Okay,
dancer.
okay.
I'm just going back to why you... Is it funny that I used the word 300 bones? For a
For
tent
the,
that
for
sleeps
the
3.
abduction tent, there's no cows
Oh,
around.
I got
There's
you.
no cows around, so you know what I'm saying.
The light dancer tent sleeps 3 for 300 bones. But they have the galactic gaze tent that sleeps 4 for 400. So it's basically $100 a night,
Right.
Per person.
Per person.
So that's one location you could sleep in one of their tents. They also have the Playhouse. Dave is going to love this one. So they describe it as off the walking path, set among the ghosts of children. Sits a 1968 vintage Avion trailer.
No.
Listen to the past.
No, I don't want to listen to anything.
None of this
from
sounds
children.
good.
Listen to the past. The pond peepers to hear. Listen past the pond peepers to hear the local children long dead at play.
No,
Pond peepers are little frogs.
No one needs to hear
Okay.
children ever, and in any way, live or dead.
Right. No, if you're sleeping in a tent, you hear ghost children laughing and playing. That's disturbing.
And if you're close to the other one getting 300
But
bones, you're not hearing it.
it
laughing.
sleeps 3 to 4 for $400 a night. So we could do that,
No,
and Nash will protect you.
I don't think he will.
But I will record you
Right.
the whole
And
night.
then another site I thought Dave would probably hate too is called the Pet Cemetery. So behind a stone wall and under a tree lies the remains of beloved pets, long dead, long buried. Catch the eyes of a phantom horse and invite the visitation of one of your ghost cats. No.
I would do that one.
I actually would be okay with that.
I
As
would be
long
okay with
as
that.
they didn't jump in my lap and expect
Well,
to be petted constantly.
That's just it.
Now it does. The Pet Cemetery tent sleeps 4 for again 400 bones. So that's $100 each.
I would do the pet cemetery because
What?
if they jumped in my lap and want to be pet,
I would do that over the dead children.
well, yeah. And if they get crazy, I can handle it.
But I would definitely be all about the alien abduction. I mean,
I bet you
no,
would.
No, I would stop
with
you there.
all them bones. I bet you would.
Like if they had a sighting in 2021, like I would be up all night just like looking at the sky.
Well, I mean, if I was guaranteed actually being abducted,
stop.
I would do it. But I don't think I get abducted.
You just feel like you're unlucky
Right?
Yeah.
The aliens would say, "I don't want you."
yeah.
because you're a ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The aliens would be like, he has no soul. Let him behind.
He's only 0.5% of the population. We don't need to study him.
But you can do overnights in the main house. I mean, if you're into that, it looks like a place it'd be really cool to check out. List any other details on the she's done.
So
You're
done with us.
But I will,
So done.
will say, the Conjuring movie came out in 2013, and it was actually a really good horror movie. A lot of good jump scares or cat scares. Dave, you hate those.
Right? Never watched it.
Solid movie. Conjuring 2, it's really good. Conjuring 3, I didn't care for.
Did that have the guy from Aquaman?
Which one?
I don't know.
Jason Momoa?
No, the other guy. The bad guy from Aquaman 1.
Oh, yeah. Patrick.
Patrick Wilson.
Listen.
Is that?
Yeah, he was
He's
Ed.
Ed.
Okay. I've
Not
never
games.
seen it, so I don't know.
But
Ed Warren.
what I really dig about that, because you don't often get this, like you get this with Marvel movies where they have a cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But The Conjuring did create the Conjuring universe. So you got the Conjuring movies.
Controverse?
Annabelle. The Nun. Whether you like them or hate them, like
The Nun?
it's pretty super cool. Yeah, The Nun and The Nun 2's coming out. It's pretty super cool that a horror franchise
I just saw a movie
exists, and they have like almost just like the Marvel universe. So I think it's badass.
I found a movie on Tubi called Nude Nuns with Guns. And I got to tell you, I was interested to watch it.
I don't think that's a horror movie, right?
I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's
Sure was on Tubi?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Tubi. That's right.
Not Pornhub.
No.
All right, well, go check out the Conjuring House. That's our take on it. Actually, I have one final thing I want to throw out here because it's very interesting. So back in the movie, The Conjuring came out in 2013. So in 2015, the owners of that particular house at the time, they had made a statement. They're planning on suing Warner Brothers because their home became overrun
Yeah.
by fans wanting to see the real house. There was just people just trespassing and all over the place, and these people couldn't take it. And for some reason, they thought they could just sue Warner Brothers. The statement from one of the owners: the internet was bombarded by people who were actually going around the property filming. We had harassing phone calls in the middle of the night. She says. They had discussions of people. They even had discussions of people destroying the house because it's so full of evil. So after that movie came out, the people that lived there
They sold it, right?
They couldn't take it any longer. But the owner, Sutcliffe, the last name, she says she insists the house isn't haunted, and she doesn't believe in ghosts.
Now, it just sold, in 2022?
For like 1 point something million.
What's
Yeah.
her name, Norma?
I saw the first one for $1.2 million, and then I saw it again for $1.5 million. That's a heck of a price tag for some crummy little.
Yeah, but it's got like many acres.
Okay,
Like it's not like a half acre, whatever. Like it's like a 10-acre property.
Gotcha.
So I have that Sutcliffe said that they heard voices and they heard doors banging and stuff. So I don't know who to believe anymore.
You know, sometimes that's the problem. But she was throwing out a lawsuit, so maybe she was. Oh no, I can't say anything. I don't want Sutcliffe to come back
True.
on me. I'm not weighing in. This was from an article, and it says specifically, Sutcliffe insists the house isn't haunted, and she doesn't believe in ghosts.
So let me ask you, just on that topic, like she's getting threatening phone calls and the people want to burn the house down. If this was something that you were like 100%, like I am so into this right now, like this is the absolute end all being of my being. I need to know what went on in this house. You're going to investigate it. You're probably going to trespass on the property to identify it. Would you want to destroy this house, or would you want to continue investigating it? Like, why the people wanting to destroy it and end?
Well, I think
like-
there was phone calls from nut jobs,
Right.
but any property destruction was coming from people just tramping around her house filming,
Right.
Because you got content creators, and they're just coming around trying to
Like
make
us.
a video like we're at the real Conjuring House. Oh wait, Is that us? Shoot. That would be frustrating as heck.
Yeah, I
Always like get in the morning, get your cup of coffee, stretch, look outside like there's people filming your house.
Right.
So I get with their frustration.
right.
100%.
Okay.
All right. We done? Moving on? Lish, you look like you're ready for us to move on.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So we talked about a podcast announcement. Do you guys still want to do this?
Yeah.
Still want to do this?
Yeah.
Still want to do this?
Yeah.
We're going to announce the retirement of Paranormal Punchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't take that as a negative.
Right.
Like, we've started this in 2017. We've been at it for a while. We according to all the stats, we're in the top 5% of podcasts, period. But
Yeah.
we're ready as individuals and as a team, I don't know, to talk about other stuff.
To shift our focus maybe to spending more time with the family or really to take on another subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we won't, all right, so we're going to just start a new show. So, this Paranormal Punches will still always be up. It'll be out there for history, for people to listen to, but we want to move on because for me, I'm working on a documentary right now. Maybe I'd want to talk about that documentary. I'm working with Dave on that documentary. Maybe he'd want to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Dave coaches softball. Maybe he'd want to talk about that. Nash, well, we never know what Nash wants to talk about, but he just won second place in strongman competition. So clearly he has other things he's doing that are extremely interesting. And I think everybody would want to hear about that. And of course, Lish, my wife, you got a lot of things in your life too, that you could talk about. Even like we could get, you have MS. Maybe be something you want to bring up, let people know like how it's going.
We just have other stuff in our life that is time to actually put back. Maybe not necessarily on the show, but put back on our families, on ourselves, on each other, and say kind of reevaluate where we're heading, and open up a little time in our lives.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean we won't talk about the paranormal.
Right.
But
it's always in our hearts.
I'm also
It's
at
there.
the point, the reason I read off all the things at the end about camping, I'm at the point where, we're always talking about somebody else's
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
Like, we should probably just go
Right.
and check these places out and do our own thing. But also, again, we had to put how do they say it? We had to help our dog across the Rainbow Bridge a few weeks ago. Maybe I'd want to spend a podcast, 10 minutes on a podcast episode talking about that. I feel like I just want to be real with my friends and have good conversations. And they can range from something spooky or a killer movie that I just watched or something sad. I don't know.
And if I've taken anything from the podcast, it's that the listeners really love our interactions.
Yeah.
So it's not so much about the paranormal; it's about us having the conversations we do, and
Except for Mark.
and annoying each other the way we do, and that banter and that camaraderie is the key to this. We're just opening up to more topics than just the paranormal.
Correct. And we have a whole listener base at this point to where it's like, yes, the paranormal is it's in your hearts and what you see, but it's a small percentage of your lives, and it's more about opening up to the rest of our lives that's out there. We all have family lives. We all have things that are going on in our lives and other things that we enjoy. So other than the paranormal will always be out there, and we're always open to talk about it. And we love talking about it. And of course, I'm always right, and nobody else is on my page, which is common.
Right.
I get that. But there's so much more out there than just this one subject.
So we're going to have one final episode. It's going to be a trivia extravaganza for Halloween.
Yep.
And we'll have the official links and everything for the new show. But we're workshopping the what do we call it? The Weekend Punch Ball.
Yeah.
Because the Weekend Punch is taken.
Yeah.
And it's a political show, and we don't want that.
No.
And we got to have the word punch in there.
Right.
Got to keep that going. But imagine just getting together with your friends. It's the weekend, long day, long week of work, and you want to hang out and shoot the shit. Well, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I could tell Nash, like, here's what happened to you this week, or he could tell me something great
Right.
or something negative. But we also talk about something weird in the paranormal universe. we
Right.
read.
If something comes up,
Or Lish shot me an article about a bear that broke into a dude's house
Oh, no.
and drank his White Claw.
Yeah, it
All his
wasn't.
White Claws.
He was a 3-legged bear.
Oh,
oh my God.
And we want to talk about a 3-legged bear
Right.
that broke into a guy's house and drank his freaking White Claws.
now, this wasn't Cocaine Bear. This was
no,
somebody
this
else.
is, this is
White
in
Claw.
Florida.
Oh, White
Yeah.
Claw Bear. Well,
So,
it's in Florida,
yeah.
okay, because who knows?
We're not stopping podcasting, but we just
Right.
want to move into a place where we could, I don't know, be a little bit
Right.
talk about
Whatever we
anything.
want.
ourselves and
Yeah.
other stuff that's going on
Yeah.
Right.
in our lives, including the paranormal.
Right.
But maybe, which we should actually start doing
Right.
and going and visiting these places and not just
Yeah.
talking about them.
Right.
Nope.
So for everybody who's supported us on Patreon, you're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You really helped get the show.
Yes.
Keep in mind, we started this in 2017.
Yeah.
So your love and your support is amazing. But we're not done. So if you love that, it's kind of like hanging out with your friends, talking about stuff. It's the same thing.
We're still here. We're still doing
It'll
it.
be the same thing.
It's just opening up the floor to more topics and more situations that we'll talk about.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about a cool movie.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about, I don't know, definitely not a political topic. Don't worry.
Well,
Don't worry.
but we could
There's
talk
enough,
about
podcasts that you can get that fix from.
Oh god.
Right.
No
We just wanna open up
politics,
to-
no religion.
Yeah, we just want to open up to other facets of our lives.
things like a 3-legged bear drinking White Claws versus Cocaine Bear.
I want to talk about that so much.
You
That's
know,
a
I'm just
movie.
saying there's a whole thing there.
You know, and even
Which Cocaine Bear, the movie version or the real version?
That wasn't a document. That wasn't
Documentary?
Thank you. I couldn't finish the word. That wasn't a documentary. Hold on. Wait. I need to rewatch it again.
Nobody knows what happened in between the cocaine falling and the bear dying.
Yeah.
Okay. See. Here we go. Already a new subject right there. 3-legged White Claw Cocaine Bear.
no, he didn't do cocaine.
He didn't do, but at the end of the Cocaine Bear.
I
thing,
assume the guy came home after long days of work and found out a bear drank all his White Claws.
Right.
And then his friends like, you drink White Claws?
right. That's my whole thing. Is
Well, and we're so we'll
FYI,
have
White Claws are awesome.
So we're going to have the Halloween special trivia, and then we'll have all the announcements and links to the new show. But we're workshopping the title, The Weekend Punch Bowl,
Yep.
because, again, fill the punch bowl with whatever, take a drink, and hang with your friends. So it's not ending. We're just evolving. Is that how you put it?
I would say
Or like a
Metamorphosizing.
metaphor. So we from a caterpillar to Mothra?
Yes.
easy.
Whoa.
I know, because you're wearing a
I'm wearing a
Godzilla
Godzilla shirt. Come on, easy.
But I would love to riff on some Godzilla stuff too, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah.
From really anything that comes up, from movies to what's happening in your life, something crazy, even if it is something paranormal, cool, we'll talk about it. It's just that we're kind of widening the scope of what we're looking at to encompass everything.
And for everybody that's been with us all these years, hey, if you want to send some listener feedback in, we'll absolutely read it on the last and final show.
Yep.
Again, we're just retiring. We're not quitting.
Yep.
We're just retiring. The show's going to be there in perpetuity. Dave, is that
You got it.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. It'll be there.
It's the first time you got a pronunciation right.
Oh, we'll let you be quiet.
If it was in Swedish, it'd be something different.
No, yeah, it'd be bad. So sweet. Is that anything else on that announcement? That's a big announcement. That's actually a big
I know,
announcement.
Yeah,
that
it
is
is.
a big one. So.
And I think, with next episode with the trivia, doing, a little bit of retrospective of, the things that we've gathered with experiences through this podcast and hearing the listener feedback would be a good thing. Like, the trivia is always awesome, but add in that closure.
Hell yeah.
Right. You guys have been great during this whole thing. You've shared with us so many experiences. You've opened up to us some of the things that you've had personally that nobody would know about, but experiences that you've had, and we thank you for that. And it's just we wouldn't be here without you guys, without your openness and your wanting to listen and
Right.
join us on this whole adventure that we've been on. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. So I want to say, thank you for that. And, we're always looking for more, but we're just kind of widening our horizons and, saying, okay, this is what happened in one facet of your life. If you have anything else that you want to get off your chest, anything special in your lives that you want to really shout out or whatever, let us know. We're happy to talk about it. We're not going away. We're just kind of widening the scope of what we're talking about.
I like how you explained that. Widening the scope.
Yeah.
But also, like, we, on the Patreon, we did a Ghosts and Gastropubs. Like, I actually want to not talk about places.
But go to them.
I want to go do
I want to
them,
go
yeah.
do this for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just an evolution of us, the show.
Now,
And I mean, it's been so long. We've
one of the questions I've always had with ghosts and gastropubs, does gastropub mean that I can fart at the restaurant?
nope.
No. Not
Oh,
even close.
come on. I've been to restaurants with you, so I know you already do that.
I'm just saying. That's why I always thought they were gastropubs, because I was letting them rip at the restaurant.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Send us your if you have something to say about the change in the show. Oh, it's going to be a brand new feed. We are not touching the Paranormal Punchers feed. We're not going to just all of a sudden you get new stuff. It
Right.
dropped. It'll be a new
Yeah.
feed, but we'll still probably be weird. So again, if it's not weird, don't worry. We're always going to be weird. So
Oh,
we're always worth checking out.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
We'll do that
So if
again.
it's not weird,
It's not worth checking out.